just checking my branding to see how it looks like. So let me take the opportunity and look at operators in R. How it looks like. Maybe I should use this one. Yeah, so this is operators in R. This is not actually the operators, but I think it's a small topic. So I'll just add this one here, subset. And yeah, I did this yesterday. So writing functions haven't reached this point in, so I'm just going to pull this up, and then I'll call this particular section hashtag. Just call it operators in R. So operators, let me pull up my, and then you see what I'm talking about. So I'm going to open my slides, which is basically R alone. And so you notice that we've done all this. So I'm going to be looking at, we've looked at variables. Yeah, we've looked at these things. I've also done the subsetting. So I think, where are we now? I want us to look at operators in R. Okay, I'm just going to, so this is what I intend to look at, like operators in R. So with this one, we have quite a number of operators. I will just look at, we have the arithmetic operators, we have assignment operator, we have relational operators, we have logical operators. We're looking at them one after the other. So when we look at the arithmetic operators, look at how they look like: the addition, the subtraction, the multiplication, of course, the division, the modulus, the exponent, floor, division, and whatsoever. I will try my best, and then we look at all of them and then how they look like. So we also have relational operators, where we look at how to use equal to. In R, when we say equal to, is we use double equal sign. We also say not equal to, and then we can look at a greater than, less than, greater than or equal to, or less than or equal to. All of them are going to form our operators in R. So this part I'm not going to talk about it because I've already done it. Assignment operator, we have left assigned, right assigned, and we have equal assigned. So that one is just like if you have an object, you assign it to a variable. It's quite simple like that. So you can do it on the right word, you can do it on the left word, and then you can also use the equal sign to do that assignment. I've spoken about this. If you haven't watched it, check the previous video. So this is where I want to throw a little bit of work that we need to do. Yeah, it's very simple, but a little bit complicated as we get to modulus, exponents, and then floor division. This part of operators in R has some little bit of technicalities, and I'd like you to pay attention to that. So I'm just going to, I'll leave this particular page, then I'll go to RStudio like this. And so let's see, I've already created some matrices which are here, so I'm going to be using those ones which are already here. So let's look at the first one, the addition operator. That's plus. Yeah, addition. You are just adding the adding operator. So if I have a hashtag like this, so I have addition operator like this. So let's say if I have 2 plus 2, obviously the answer will be 4. And then if I have, so I can just do that. That's an addition operator. So what about if I have 1, if I have 1 is to 3, and then I also add it to 5. I add it to 5 is to, let's say, 8. like this, and run it. One longer longer object is not a multiple of shorter. So we know what has happened here. So what I'm simply saying here is I should end at 7. So when you do that, it's going to correspondingly add all of them. And that's what it is. That's what is happening here. So 1 will be added to 5, 2 will be added to 6, and 3 will be added to 7. Then in that order. If you want to add things like this, you can do it. Now you could have done this in multiple forms or in whichever form that you can look at, you can think of. Now the same way we can also add vectors. For instance, I could create a vector. I have a vector here. Let's say I call it vector 1, and then I will just use the vector sign like this, and then I'll just create some kind of values there. Let's say I have 1 is to 15, and then I can have vector 2, so I have vt2, and then that one too is also, we also use the same vector, and then I'll call it 16. Okay, 12 is to 27. And so if I run the two vectors, then they are there. So let's assume that I'm going to print one of the vectors and print the second one and look at, I don't know if they are the same. So 1 is to 15, and then I have 12 is 27. So now let's see if they are equal. If they are equal, so I'm going to say v1, and I use 2 double sign, it's equals to v2 like this, and run it. They say that 1 is longer. I suspected that 1 is longer. So what I'll do here is to simply change this to 6, and then I'll run that again. Come and run this second line, see what happens. So you notice that now they are the same, and the result is false. So now we can now perform all kinds of the addition operators using them. So I will just say I have my vt1 here. If I say vt1, I can just go there and have my vt2 and just do this. So it will add all of them. What it does is that it picks the first value and add to the first value, second added to second, third added to third. All right. So I could also use the same vt1, but in this case, I'm not adding all of them. I'm just adding a few portions of vt2 to another portion of vt one. So I have my vt2. So I can just go ahead and say, if you want to add a portion, you simply use this particular square bracket. So in that case, you are using an index. So let's say I want the position value of 3. That's position 3 on v2. So if I print the vector vt1, vector 1, the value which comes in the third position, I am taking that value and adding it to vt2, and then if I don't do anything to this addition, 3 is going to be added to all the values in vt2, and that's what's going to happen. Run it and see. So you notice that 3 has been added to all the values in vt2, and that's what is happening. You can play around with this, and that's going to give you a clearer understanding. So if I do this, and then I have let's say I have 2 is to 4. I'm simply saying that I'm picking the values or the object on the second position to the 4th position, and then I want to add it to vt2. Now guess, is it going to work? Run it and see. Yes, it's going to work. Now what has just happened here, let me clean this up, then run that portion, You see, this is 1, 2, 3, up to 15. And I decided to add, I looked at position 2 to 4. Position 2 to 4 is actually 2, 3, and 4. I've added 2, 3, and 4 to VT2. Now let me print just VT2 alone, and then you look at something. Now I will now run the entire line, and then you look at something. So let me pull this up and explain something. So this is vector 1, this is vector 2, and then I decided vector 2 is 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 in that order. But I decided to add 2, 3, and 4 to vector 2. So vector 2 here, initially it was 12, but now it's 14. Do you know what has happened? So 2 plus 3 will give us 5. 5 plus this will give us 9, right? So momentarily, I'll be back to explain or to finish up this